Now, clearly 30 days isn't a lot of time to do anything, especially to go through a transformation. But 16 weeks ago, I had a spinal fusion. Before that spinal fusion, I was in pretty decent shape. I stayed lean all year round. I ate healthy. I've been training for 25 years total. I started when I was 16. I'm now 42. That's 25, right? 16? Close enough. But I was always the skinniest kid. I was that hard-gaining ectomorph that was literally the skinniest kid in the gym, the skinniest kid at school. That was me. And my stepbrother was a bodybuilder, and he actually won a couple pretty decent competitions. I wanted to aspire to look like him, so I started training at the age of 16, 17, and that overlap, and I wanted to be a bodybuilder. Now, shortly thereafter, I realized that I could probably never look like him naturally. But my first trainer was a guy by the name of Joe Dodd. Joe Dodd owned a gym in Trenton, New Jersey, where I'm from, called Man's World. In Man's World, there were some of the best physiques you'd ever see. And these are guys that were like the post office guys, and the garbage guys, and the guys that worked down at the gas station. I mean, these are just random everyday guys with some of the best physiques around. And one of the first things that Joe told me was, number one, lift wide to be wide. I wanted wide shoulders. I was so narrow, it was ridiculous. So from that day on, I lifted wide to be wide. And I built shoulders. And I really appreciate when people notice my shoulders. The second thing that he told me was, blast your genetics beyond their potential before you even entertain PEDs. He called them steroids, just directly, but I was 16, 17, and he told me, don't take steroids, blast your body, find out your genetic ceiling, and just blow it. And so I did. And so everything I did naturally for 23 years built a solid foundation. And here's the thing. I've lost everything. 4, 5, 6 times maybe at least in the 25 years that I've been training. I've had a brain injury. I got hit by one of my dump trucks. I was out of work for over a year. I lost all my gains. I was in a car accident. I got rear-ended. My whole right side was impinged. I couldn't move my right side. I was literally like this. I literally slept through 2 months of my life. My poor wife and kids had to take care of everything for me. And in 2003, I had complete organ failure. All my organs stopped working symbiotically. Now, after months of testing, one of the doctors actually said, this is probably because you were force-feeding yourself 6,000 calories a day to gain weight naturally. You probably would have been better off taking small cycles. That didn't feel good to hear because I'm dying, literally dying, and he attributes it to my natural bodybuilding style, right? I was dying. They gave me 2 months left to live. I lost 53 pounds. I went back down to 120 something. I was skin and bones. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Well, that's a different video for another time. But my point is each time I had a foundation. Now, the other thing about natural bodybuilding is that you learn your body inside and out. You learn everything about it. You learn what works, what doesn't work, what foods work and what don't work, and what your body needs to maintain, what your body needs to gain, and what your body needs to lose, what you need to do to bulk, what you need to do to cut. You learn everything. And mentally, knowing that you did everything that you did naturally feels so good. I remember one of the first times that really kicked in. I was in college. I was curling probably the 55, 60 pound dumbbells for a couple years. And I really wanted to focus on biceps and build bigger arms. So I started doing more hammer curls. By the end of the year, I don't know how many months it was, but by the end of that school year, I was doing hammer curls with 90 pound dumbbells for full sets, for like 8 to 10 reps with perfect form. That sounds like BS, but it's not, because I put all my emphasis on that training. And I built that up. And naturally, you build that foundation, and that foundation is really strong because nothing is going to come in and change it. Nothing's going to raise the foundation or lower the foundation. There's nothing exogenous that's entering into your body. So everything that you're building on your foundation is natural, and it's there, and it's going to stay there most of the time. So by the end of that year, I was hammer curling 90-pound dumbbells with perfect form. My elbows close to my body. I was getting compliments. I felt great. And it was just the next year that my organs shut off and I lost everything. Now, I've been on TRT for the past 3 years. Doctor prescribed TRT obviously with the other stuff, the HCG and the AI and yada yada. But the reason I had to do that is because my spine had gotten so weak and frail, and my legs were in so much pain all the time. And I own a construction company, a tree service, a landscape company, a production company, a furniture company. And so I was on my feet all day long. I've got 6 kids. I had 4 or 5 companies that were actively running at different times, and I was exhausted. I was exhausted. And after the brain injury, I could barely get out of bed some days, because the brain injury, especially I got hit in the frontal lobe, that affects a lot of things, and that affected my energy levels. Well, I decided 3 years ago that I would start TRT. And so I've been on TRT for 3 years, typically about 200 milligrams a week of testcipionate or testananthate. Now, I know that a lot of TRT is dosed lower than that, but for my purposes, that is what my doctors prescribed to me. And I've been on that for 3 years, and it's been phenomenal for me. It's given me my quality of life back. And it's allowed me to maintain my life while really destroying my body. I mean, at the end of the day. Now, I haven't been able to lift legs in 10 years because of my spinal issues and because of my permanent sciatica. Now, after the spinal fusion, I'm hoping that I'll be able to really push legs a little further, so that way I can actually become more balanced. Because I never wanted to look like a potato on toothpicks, so I couldn't let my upper body get too big, so I always tried to maintain balance and proportion. So now I'm hoping that I'll be able to just put on weight. I don't know, my legs still hurt, my back still hurts, but now I've just been training from home with my resistance bands. Now again, I know what my body needs, I know what foods my body needs, I know what training my body needs, and I did that for 30 days to put some muscle back on, to tighten everything up, and I was very limited because again, remember, I just had a spinal fusion. And we're during COVID, and we were locked down, and so I'm training from home with resistance bands, and I'm eating better again, and I'm trying to kick the pain pills, and it's been a tough road. But the further I get back into training, the easier it is to handle everything in life. Everything for me. So I guess the point of this video is really to stress to anyone watching, build that foundation. Build that foundation naturally and build that foundation right. Take as much time as your body needs. Take as much time as you need to learn your body. Then hit that foundation for as long as you need to continue growing it, okay? And becoming more stable. Then, and only then, is when you should entertain, if even, anything exogenous. Anything external of your own production. Now, this channel, Heal and Overcome, is basically about my journey of what I'm doing next. Now, what I'm doing next is I'm going to dive into the world of PEDs. I mean, plain and simple. I've never done any kind of steroids except for light doses of Deca for my back. And those light doses, I feel like, made all the difference in the world. Because I tried to stay off of pain pills. I tried to stay off of ibuprofen and anti-inflammatories for years because I had been dealing with my back issues for 18 years. And those light doses of Deca, I mean, literally, I was climbing trees as an arborist. I'm lifting logs. I'm doing construction. Yeah, it hurt like hell, but I was able to do it. And I think I attribute a lot of that to the past 3 years of, popping in those light doses of Deca in with my TRT. Now, what are we doing now? Well, first, here's the thing. I've never done any orals. I've never done anything else. That's it. TRT, light doses of Deca. Now, I'm interested in doing a lot. So I've created this channel, Heal and Overcome, so we can get rid of that curtain that all those fake natties are holding in front of you. So that they're telling you over the curtain what they're doing and what you should do, but they're not showing you everything that they're doing. Well, I'm getting rid of that curtain, and I'm going to show you everything I'm doing. First thing I'm going to be doing is this. Doctor prescribed Anavar. A 45-day cycle of Anavar. I'm excited for it because I've never used it before. I don't know anything about it. In fact, one of the channels I've been leaning on a lot is Ryan Ankrum. He's got his Juiced series and his SARM series and his guys, the SARMs guys and the Juice guys. Guys, pick those up, okay? His channel is a wealth of knowledge. I really like all the info that he puts out there, and I like the way he puts it out there. And I like that he just puts it out there. You know, he's not trying to hide anything as far as I can tell. He just puts it out there. And I've had the opportunity to kind of exchange some messages with him, and he's a real dude. He's just a real down-to-earth kind of guy, and I like that. okay? So check out his channel, Ryan Ankrum Fitness. Now, and I love Derek from More Plates, More Dates. That's where you get a lot more of the deeper information of this stuff. So I've really been leaning on those two guys a lot. The rest of the stuff, you know, guys and gals out there, listen, there's a lot of fake shit. There's a lot of fake natties. There's a lot of bullshit. Don't fall for it, okay? If somebody maintains this particular physique and aesthetic look all year round, and they're saying that they're natural, and they're ripped to shit, and their chest has this perfect round shape, and their biceps have a perfect bubble, yeah, come on. Put one and one together, okay? It's time to get rid of that curtain, all right? It really is. It's time to just cut the bullshit. I want you all to know what's real, and I want to know what's real too. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm 42, 6 kids, multiple companies, lots of injuries and ailments, and now I want to achieve the physique I've always wanted. I mean, obviously I love Chris Bumstead, but he's just too big. I don't want to be that big, okay? So I love the classic look, the Steve Reeves, the Frank Zane, so that's what I'm going for. But I've got some meat that I need to put on, okay? Now, I'm looking forward to this. 45 days of Anavar? I don't know. Drop a line in the comments section. Tell me what I should expect. Tell me what you guys think. I'm going to keep the diet clean, but remember, I got to train from home for now because I'm not even supposed to be training yet. So I got to do resistance bands, push-ups, that kind of stuff because now I'm also kind of scared to push the spinal fusion. I don't want to push the spinal fusion too far too soon. It's only been 16 weeks. So I don't know, maybe this isn't a good idea. I'm going to do it anyway. Stick around, help me out, drop some lines to the comments, make some suggestions. That's kind of the idea. Right now, I'm trying to build some of that stability back, okay? And that's one of the reasons why my doctor suggested Anavar, to build a little bit of that muscle stability back, okay? After that, the goal is to bulk. After that, the goal is to put on 20 to 30 pounds. And as far as I can tell so far, what I'm thinking is D-ball, Dianabol. And I know Dianabol is basically an oral version of EQ. So EQ is an injectable version of Dianabol in different ways, so the body responds differently. I've never taken either, obviously. I'm down to try anything. Legal. Doctor prescribed. Let's make that clear. I've got my doctor. We're going that route. I don't know what else to tell you except for go kick ass, lay that foundation, and then see where you're at. Don't just jump in head first with like this, because you're never going to learn yourself. And, man, you are going to F up your internals. Just relax. Learn yourself, because that's part of the journey. Oh, and go get some meditation in, man. I meditate. I'm ADHD, plus with the brain injury, I have to meditate every day. I meditate like 3-4 times a day. Now remember, guys, I've pretty much died twice. Internally from the organ failure, and second from the brain injury. But I've also been shot at, knifed twice, been in and out of gang fights, jumped. I mean, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot in my life. I grew up poor, piss poor. And so now, I'm ready to hit it hard. I'm ready to get that physique I've always wanted. So, help me out. Let's go for it.